Charles Richardson Show is uncensored and is for adults only. Mature or immature, doesn't matter.
You want me to quit eating Taco Bell? We're not together anymore. I don't eat fast food as a rule, but I will fuck up Taco Bell given the opportunity. I like Taco Bell as a company. I like what they produce. Taco Bell's never lied to you. Taco Bell's never told you they were healthy. McDonald's will lie to you. They'll put out some bullshit commercial with a cattle rancher going, we got to raise our cattle right, or McDonald's won't buy them, chop up into burgers. Taco Bell's commercials are like, hey, we're putting shit in a Dorito. Get down here. Take your time. We're open all night. Taco Bell got sued 2 years ago. The college said your meat is only 38% meat. Taco Bell, in retaliation, took a full-page ad out in USA Today that basically said, fuck you, it's 80. That's an honest company. They're going, yeah, it's not all real. We're Taco Bell, but it's a B-. Go fuck yourselves, all right? She would send me internet articles about what's actually in Taco Bell's meat, and then she'd call me and quiz me about the shit. Did you read it? Yeah, I read it. Sanded sawdust, but if you had it, it's fucking delicious. If I knew sawdust tasted like that, I'd be chopping wood every goddamn day. What happened to the tree in the yard? I made nachos. That's what happened to the tree in the yard. I made a shit ton of them. The tree's worth is way too much. I should have measured it different.
Let me tell you, can I give you two guys a friendly piece of advice, okay? Don't ever go up to the drive-thru, okay? Always walk up to the counter. You know what? Okay. They fuck you at the drive-thru, okay? They fuck you at the drive-thru. They know you're going to be miles away before you find out you got fucked, okay? They know you're not going to turn around and go back. So they don't care. Who gets fucked? Oh, Leo gets. Okay, sure. I don't give a fuck. I'm not eating this tuna, okay?
Shut up!
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so frickin' good. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should. I was sitting in the kitchen one day and I was itching to fill up my belly with the piping hot jelly of the best damn treat in the world.
He's talking Pop-Tarts.
And I saw a stick of butter and it almost made me shudder and scream like a baby girl. I don't want a giant penis or a rocket trip to Venus. I don't want to win the lottery. I just want to squat and gobble till I'm dizzy and I wobble in a butterfruit and Joe's hot dream. So I put butter on a Pop-Tart. It was so friggin' good. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
Everybody, come along with us.
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so friggin' good.
Yeah.
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
Pop-Tart.
With butter?
That's right. Relationships easy to get into, hard to maintain. Why are they so hard to maintain? Because at some point you just stop talking. That's right. Everybody stops talking after a while. You know how you just come home and just start nodding. Sure. Yeah, we cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get into something. Yeah, we cool. Why do you stop talking? Because at some point you have heard everything this person has to say, and it makes you sick to your stomach. You know what they gonna say before it even comes out their mouth, and you just want to stab them in the neck with a pencil. You can't take the shit no more. And they're like, remember that time? Yeah, I remember that time. Oh, I ever tell you about that? Yeah, you told me about the time. Stop telling me the same shit over and over again. Why don't you go out and get kidnapped? Have some new shit happen to you. That's right. That's right. Fellas, you gotta talk. You gotta talk. Fellas, you got to talk. That's women's biggest complaint. You don't talk. You don't talk. You don't talk. You need to talk. Let's talk. You don't talk. That's why women love to talk. And that's right. They're talking in the Olympics. A man wouldn't stand a chance. Women love to talk, but they won't talk to you. They won't talk to their men. But women don't want you to talk. Women just want you to listen. I said, all a woman really wants you to do is ask her the correct questions that will allow her to run her fucking mouth. You set her up, she'll knock them down. Fellas, you want your woman to be happy? All you got to say is, how was your day? How was your day? Honey, how was your day? You know why? Because how was your day is a 45-minute conversation to a woman. And as a man, you don't really got to talk. You got to just act like you're talking, like, get out of here. Go on. I don't believe it. You don't say. Really? Get out of here. Go on. I don't believe it. You don't say. Get out of here. I told you that bitch crazy. You got to throw in, I told you that bitch crazy. You know why? Because every woman's got another woman at her job that she can't stand. And women, y'all exaggerate everything. Y'all always turn it into some dynasty shit like, she's trying to destroy me. What the fuck are you talking about? You wrap up bags at JCPenney's. What's she doing, ripping up your paper? Son, fellas, you gotta talk. Women, exact opposite. Y'all gotta learn when not to talk. That's right. You ever notice how no man comes home straight from work? No man comes home straight from work. A man get off work, he got to go somewhere. He got to drink something. He got to smoke something. He got to watch the game. He got to hang with his boys. He got to take a drive. He got to do something that will mentally prepare him for all the talking he gonna hear when he get home. Ladies, it ain't that you talk too much. You just talk too much soon as we get in the fucking door. Let a man get situated. We don't need to hear everything right away. As soon as you take one step in, you're gonna believe it. You're gonna believe, hey, let me get my other foot in the fucking door. Let me get something to eat. Let me get something to drink. Let me take a shit. Go in the fucking kitchen and give me my big piece of chicken.
Try to live my life every day. Keep out of strife, come what may. I try to do unto others as I have them do to me, but it can't be done for everyone, and now it's plain to see. You are a cunt. That's thinking cunt. It ain't true when you tell me you're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt. Motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt. I try to be real nice, say it twice, be real nice, even though it is hard to keep up this facade. And now I see, dearie me, what a hassle this would be. I'm out of luck, don't give a fuck, cause you're the cunt, not me.
Why don't you go fuck yourself, dickhead?
You are a cunt. Big fat stinking cunt. If it ain't true, but it is, I'll give you a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt. Motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt. Why don't you shut that scabby cunt mouth before I fuck up your face? I try to be real nice, say it twice, good advice, even though it's futile. Fucking in the side, I don't know why I try to deny this nagging itch. You maniac, gonna get you back, you fucking son of a bitch. You are a cunt. A big fat stinking cunt. Say it ain't true when you tell me you're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt. Motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt.
Live from the Raw Talk Studios in Southwest Florida, it's the Charles Richardson Show.
I'm not used to sharing 3 mics in the studio here. I mean, obviously right now, Alyssa's not in, so That would have been Mike 2, but Mike number 3 belongs to Karen, and she is actually present and accounted for. Sorry, gentlemen, she is actually wearing something very, very, it's covering most of everything. So sadly, we can't get the camera down there, but yeah, that's what we're doing with right now. So what's up? Happy Monday.
I didn't get caught in the rain on the way in, so it didn't get too wet.
Yeah, Karen's car is one of those things, and it really doesn't matter how new or old the car is. Nope. It really doesn't. It's one of those things where if Karen is driving it, chance starts breaking down pretty quickly. Go ahead, Karen, talk, because apparently you were down a little bit.
Oh, I said it was raining, but I didn't get wet, even though I wore white. I tried.
She wore white, tried to go ahead and get the wet T-shirt contest going on a little early, but no, not happening.
But I named it Christine.
You named it Christine.
It does whatever it wants to, whenever it wants to.
Jeez.
So.
And for the Monday people.
What's the worst day of the week that gets us all depressed? MONDAYSUCKS. Here comes more aggravation and a brand new week of stress. MONDAYSUCKS. Monday sucks. Monday sucks.
I like it.
Forever will it make you want to cry, 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 cry. Come along and sing your song, now get it off your chest. MONDAYSUCKS.
Yeah, because it does. Mondays do suck. But you know what? Today, Mondays do not suck. We have, or scheduled to have, I should say, Daniel Papi Gonzalez joining us here. He is a stand-up comedian and podcaster, host of Dannylize This. That's, kind of creative there. You use your first name there, Danny. Dannylize This. He's actually does a lot of interviews, a lot of them there where, fellow stand-up comedians. He's actually in Texas. So Philip, actually, you may be able to go ahead and see some of his acts over there. I think he's over there in not Waco, but Austin, Texas.
It's only about 5 hours away. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're not that close then.
That's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, right. Come on, 5 hours. Come on, right there.
Yeah. In any other state, you can drive across any state in the country 5 hours, but Texas.
Well, actually, you can drive across Florida from the very, very furthest point west to the very, very furthest point east in about 3.5 max, depending on how slow you drive.
Yeah, the furthest I drove was from El Paso, Texas to Texarkana, and that's about right at 800 miles, and it takes about 10, 12 hours to do.
Right. So anyway, Daniel Papi Gonzalez coming in about 7:15, about a couple of minutes or so, depending on when he decides to come on in. We'll go ahead and get him in as soon as he pops on into the backstage area there on our lovely StreamYard, which, by the way, I have some issues with. They have a thing here where it's like, okay, you can add a camera, like you add a webcam. Instead of using another program where you have to do your cameras and everything like that, they actually have an option now to add a camera. It's $20 more a month, which is almost double the price that I'm paying for it as it is, to add a camera. It says add a second camera and show them both. I'm thinking, so I can only add one camera? What if I have Alyssa and Karen in here? That's 3 cameras. I need 3 cameras. And if you're only going to give me... So I got a little bit of an issue there.
The easy way to do that, though, is like I gave my wife administrative privileges. So, I mean, she can come in. There's no real need to add that camera. If they just come in with... my wife can use her computer camera and come in, and it's no different than just having another guest.
Well, I know that, but the thing is we're in the same room, and if we're talking in the mics, then it's the mics coming, the audio is coming through the mixer onto my channel. All the rest of them are going to have audio picking up on the rest. I mean, we have to probably mute them all, but
nah, not at all. Not at all. It's the same because I've done it with Tammy. The same thing. I mean, it still works the same because everything's processed through your mixer. So that shouldn't be too much of an administrative issue.
We should try that. We should try setting up with one of these phones that we don't have there. Just put it on StreamYard and see what it does.
Hey, I'm just saying, man, in the land of no ideas, the man with the idea is king, and here we are.
Hey, It's not like I didn't have any ideas. It's just I thought it was a bad idea.
Well,
I mean, who the hell are you telling me it's a good idea?
I'm telling you, it's a great idea.
My idea is to twitch my nose and it all works the way it should. But
you ain't
that
part of
doesn't
that. You ain't
work.
part of that TV show. I'm sorry. You're still waiting to get cast on that one.
I know.
Yeah, that ain't happening. So Karen's here finally. But again, like I mentioned, Karen's car is like an enigma. Doesn't matter what car she gets. I mean, I think you've gone through like 10 cars in 2 years, haven't you? Something like that.
3.
3 in 2 years.
Yeah, me personally 3. David's had his truck down, up, down. You know.
Well, it sounds to me like Charles is calling this 6 inches, right? I mean, he has no concept of measurements, you know.
I don't. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe my measurements are a little bit off. That's okay. Listen, I have no complaints, and you know what? It's always what they say to your face is what matters, not what they say behind your back. I don't really care, man. You go right ahead.
In my defense, the other 2, I did well. The other 2, the one I have now, we actually put out some money for, but I did look up reviews and stuff like that on it. It was only made for 3 years. It kind of bombed. It was supposed to be the luxury edition of the Dodge Durango. It's longer. It's got more options, this and that. But
it's longer than 6 inches.
Yes, and but it had major electrical issues, which Chrysler recognized, and they would like replace, of course, while it was under warranty, but they wouldn't recognize it in the sense of trying to come up with a solution to fix it, because they weren't planning on keeping this car for long term. So now I of course don't find that out until things start going haywire on my own car. But I also had the person that had it prior to me put in an aftermarket stereo. And then I'm being told that it can be that's messing up with the wiring too. So
void the warranty.
So she's had to dodge rain here and there to just get to get over here.
So now it's going to be $90 an hour for somebody to say, trace it down and tell me what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have our guest backstage. He is there. He is the host of the Dannylize This podcast. He is a stand-up comedian located there in Austin, Texas, looking to go nationwide and possibly take over the world, like with Pinky and the Brain. He's going to do that. Let's go ahead and welcome in Daniel Papi Rodriguez. Mr. Papi, how you doing?
It's Gonzalez. It's not Rodriguez, dog.
Yeah, you all look alike, right? That's racist.
Damn. Damn, where am I at a Trump rally? What's wrong with you guys?
Hey, man, look, I'm married into the Brown family. I'm part of the Can family by injection. All right.
All right, listen. I'm not just any type of brown. I'm the best type of brown. I'm Puerto Rican, dog. Like Rodriguez. Like, what's wrong with you, dog?
Well, you're part of the Can family, though. You're still part of the Can.
I was testing you to make sure that you knew your own name.
You remember?
Yeah, because I knew my own. Listen, I couldn't forget my own type, even if I fucking wanted to. Okay, it's like. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough Puerto Ricans out there making a bad name for us, but my mother, one of them, mijo, always remember, you're fucking Puerto Rican, okay? You're not fucking Mexican, okay?
Right.
So let's get it right one more time. Daniel Papi Gonzalez.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity, guys. Thank you.
You know what? Let's get right into that particular thing that could segue, because honestly, I'm sure you've been on stage many times. Hecklers. How do you handle them? I mean, somebody that's because I mean,
anybody who's seen me live has a very hard time trying to heckle me. But when it does happen, let's just say that what happened to that guy, to Dave Chappelle, it's nothing that would happen if it happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy going to the hospital was the nicest thing, because I know a little bit more than Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's ghetto. I'm Puerto Rican that trains jiu-jitsu. So
that Can family, man, you're great with knives, dude. Right on.
You know what I'm saying? Knives, Goya products. You know, that's all I do. That's all I do.
Now, you mentioned jiu-jitsu, and I have seen some of your stand-up comedian. You're not that far along in jiu-jitsu, unless that was an old comic. You're saying you're in a purple belt, the gay belt. Explain
the gay belt. It's 100% the gay belt. It's 100% the gay belt.
Why is it the gay belt? Because listen, I never got past green, and I was like this far away from purple. So it's like, did I finally get over and cross over that big line between gay and straight by getting the green belt?
No.
So here's the thing. Let's talk like the art of jujitsu. It's very very hard to learn. It's like earning a doctorate's degree, right?
Yes.
Takes an average of 10 to 12 years. At white belt, you're learning how to walk. You don't even know how to talk yet, right? At blue belt, you learned a couple of words, you're putting a couple sentences together, but at purple, there's nothing cool about being a purple belt whatsoever. The upper belts in jiu-jitsu want to kill you because they want to keep you in your place, and all the white belts and blue belts want to kick your ass because they want to make a name for themselves. So there's a lot of taint in my face. There's a lot of balls involved. So yeah, it's very gay. It's a horrible, like, I get it from both ways. I get it in my mouth and in my ass. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that's pretty gay, especially if it's not wanted.
And the thing is about jujitsu, you take two men who are rolling around on a mat in skin tight clothes, you put that same situation in a motel room, and it's fucking wrong, right?
It's called Brokeback Mountain there, Philip.
Sorry, my wife tried to call me, and she knows I'm in this interview, and she was like, "I'm gonna call you anyway."
Yeah, right.
I want to do jiu-jitsu.
What was that, Karen?
You want to do jiu-jitsu? I mean, women love jiu-jitsu. I think it's a.
From the description, I'm thinking I'd like it.
Well, yeah. Well, she likes the dick in the mouth and the ass. That's what she's liking right now.
The rolling around.
The rolling around.
Is there oil involved?
There might be
sometimes. It's called no-gi jiu-jitsu. You wear spandex and you get really sweaty.
Yeah.
It's very popular in the California circles. It's just wear really tight spandex and just try to teabag people.
Oh.
Oh God! Are you still taking lessons? Are you still involved?
No. I actively train. I train 2 to 3 times a week. It's what I do. It's not. I put that training jiu-jitsu at one point was a very competitive thing for me. I'll be honest with you guys. I really wanted to be having the competition scene, and there came a point where I was like, hey, I'm okay at this, but there's just a different level. It's like going to a college wrestling room after wrestling in high school. You go, oh, different level of athlete, different level of commitment. And I didn't have the commitment to jiu-jitsu that I don't have the drive for jiu-jitsu like I have for comedy. Like in comedy, I've been doing this 4+ years now, and it's the same thing. It's like you dedicate the hours, and if you don't, the injuries, just the amount of time. I love the art. I love teaching it. I love sharing it with the world. But I'm not going to be a world champion, and I'm okay with that because I just want to be a better version of myself. And every time I go jiu-jitsu, it's just it's a hang, man. It's a hang with the boys. There's a lot of Greek shit involved, but we just don't look each other in the eye, so it's fun.
Right. Explain to my audience what type of comedy do you normally do? Are you talking about heritage comedy? Are you talking about what's happening in the world comedy? What do we got? Are you interacting with the audience comedy?
So I like to describe myself as you have to feel me comedy. Like I want you to feel me as a person.
So basically you're talking about gay jujitsu with dick and everything, and now you're asking people to feel you?
In a weird way, yes. It's
emotionally charged.
So it's one of those things where it's like I'm not an insult comic, but I'm not. It's not. I'll roast somebody if I have to. I talk a lot about my family. I talk a lot about topical shit. I'll talk about the news. But at the end of the day, I want you to feel when you see my stand-up set. I want you to feel like you left with a little piece of my heart on stage, because I really do believe that making people laugh there's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like murdering on stage, knowing that, for 45 minutes, somebody, forgot about their bills. There's nothing like going in there and you see somebody that's having a little bit of an attitude on a Friday night. And by the end of the night, they're just like, oh, I needed that. That's just the best, man.
Just the fact of going ahead and making people laugh. That's what you aim. And now I'm assuming, as a stand-up comedian, you would think that's probably the most satisfaction there is to get a room and kill a room.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it, man. It's the highs and the lows in comedy are probably the best parts, right? Because even when you have a low, it's just the next one's gonna be even higher than the one you had before. And oh man, I can't explain it. Like I did a show in Fort Worth about a week ago. And the crowd was rocking. The energy was was electric. And it was not just myself that I freaking rocked the stage, but all the other comedians in the lineup with me. They all freaking rocked the stage. And the best thing to me as a comedian, when I see the crowd walk out at the end of the night, it's just, they're like, oh, I can't breathe. My ribs hurt. My cheeks hurt from smiling. And to me, it was like those are the moments where, all this artistic bullcrap that, stand-ups like to say, I just want to do free speech. It's like none of that fucking matters. It's like, are you making people laugh? And are they having a good time? And that is my ultimate goal every time I sit up on stage.
I'll take questions in the Facebook comments here, the YouTube comments as well. John actually asked, you as a comic, do you have anything that's off limits?
Not a damn thing. I think I not to sound contradictory, right? Like funny is funny, and you have to be funny. But I think what makes life funny are the things that are real, the things that hurt. Dave Chappelle, one of the greatest comics of all time, he always says it's our responsibility to be reckless. So you do have to talk about your pain. You have to talk about the nastiness in life, and that's where being a wordsmith and honing your craft comes in. You have to know how to make those ugly topics in life funny. And I pride myself on doing my best every time that I go out there, man.
Well, so Mr. Rodriguez, because that's what we're going to call you for the rest of this show, because Charles is a disrespectful dick.
Wait. Hold on a second. I have a thing here. It says mute mic. I wonder what this does. Hold on, Philip. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see there. Philip, now go ahead and ask your fucking question there.
All right. So Daniel, I've and I'm sure, God, you hear this 1,000 times, oh, you're so funny. You should be a stand-up comedian. And me, I'm like, man, look, I was a bomb tech in the Army, so my job was to defuse bombs. I have that was easy work to me being a comic. God damn, that takes huge balls to make yourself very vulnerable to get up there and hey,
get 4 shots of tequila in you, brother. You'll do just fine,
man. I'm a Jack Daniels man, but so the question, I guess, is for someone that's thinking about breaking into the comedy scene, who all their friends have told them how fucking hysterical they are, right? So for you, man, to take that first step, how did you? God damn it,
that's a story within itself, honestly.
So how did you get there? How did you get to having the fortitude?
Long story short, my wife and I went to a local comedy club in the DFW to just hang out, go watch a show or whatever. And I met, I don't know if you guys know who Tony Hinchcliffe is. He's kind of one of Rogan's boys. Anyway, right? And I was talking to him after the show, playing a game of pool after he took $20 from me. And he was like, hey, you ever tried stand-up? And I was like, you're a funny guy. And I'm like, no, I haven't. It's kind of been one of those, huge John Leguizamo fan, huge Pryor fan. It's like, of course, I've always wanted to try it. He walked me over to the owner who runs the open mic at the club. He was like, hey, put his name down. And later that night, I went up and bombed, because nobody's ever good at comedy the first time.
Right.
And it was the addiction. It was the rush of just getting on stage and doing something that you never thought you would do. And, ever since then, I've never stopped showing up.
So did you have a set in mind that when you went up there and bombed? Did you have a set, or just get up there and just try to tell some funny stories?
Well, funny thing is, I used to be a youth pastor before trying comedy. so it's like I'm not.
How you get in there,
So I had like weird stories about my dad and church stories, and I told one of them. Didn't get any laughs. Like I said, I bombed on my first time, and it wasn't planned, but then when I went back the next week, I prepped what I thought was 5 minutes, ended up being 2.5. And then I was sitting up there like a child without clothes on in the middle of the night. Just like, I don't know what to do, Daddy. I don't know what to do. And it was just the process of it, man. And honestly, more than getting on stage, I fell in love with the process of writing, the process of performing, the process of hanging out at the club, getting to know the headliners, getting advice from them. The entire process, top to bottom, is what I fell in love with. And it's not only artistic as far as you get to work on, the writing aspect of it, but just who you are. It's kind of like in pro wrestling, like the old mantra is like the really good guys, the guys that get over, they're themselves turned up to 10 on stage. And that was like the one thing that always stuck out to me, that, other comments you say. Find a way to be yourself on stage. Don't try to say things that you think are funny. Just know that what you're saying is funny to you, and the audience will reciprocate.
All right, so Charles, I got to follow up.
Go ahead.
While I was in Iraq, we had and you as a comic, you might appreciate this. We're in Iraq. We don't want to fucking be there. We're at war, and the USO brought over some comics, some no-name guys. And we had this comedian who was in the chow hall with us. Middle of the day, we're all just smoked out from doing missions all day. And then we take our lunch break, we go in and we hear this guy talk, and he's telling these jokes and he's just bombing, right? I mean, we were a hostile crowd because we just we didn't find him very funny, but the mission that we were doing, so it was just a bad time for this guy. But one of the things that he did, and his biggest mistake, I think, was in a room full of soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen, he goes, he'd tell a joke and he'd whiff, and he'd be like, "Hey man, fuck y'all, I think that shit's funny."
I like the attitude. I like that attitude, right? Because not every crowd is going to be your crowd, right? It's finding your audience. A lot of old school comics, like they always say you have to be universal. Yeah, maybe, and maybe generations past, that's the truth. But with the advent of, modern social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, I think that you could still be a very successful comic, truly being yourself. Take an example, one of my favorite comics right now, Mark Vieira. That dude sells out all over the country, but he's not necessarily a household name. And you're wondering, it's like, what makes him so successful? And it's honestly social media. He's posting his bits on social media. Some of those bits went viral. He has one, shout out to him, about Bustelo coffee, and it's hilarious. And it's not just the Hispanic community, the people who are coffee lovers, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I want to go see this guy. Those things translate to sales. And it all starts, by kind of picking your little corner of the market and expanding. So you have, I think in any content creator in today's world, you just have to pick your little corner, work that little corner until that little corner becomes yours, and then expand from there. I don't think it's not like before. I talked to, one of my good friends, Keith Ross Nelson, also a stand-up comic. He was like, back in the day, it's like you worked your 5 minutes to get on, one of the late night TV shows, and hopefully that'll be the thing. Now it's different. I've gone on tour all over, the South, from Texas all the way down to Florida. Some shows sold out, some shows didn't, but it was, people came out to see me, and it was like, oh, because I saw your TikTok. Oh, because I saw your Instagram. Oh, I heard your podcast. And there are people that just want to figure out who you are. It's just figuring out that little niche, little part of the market and honing that. It's building that little audience for yourself. And I think that social media and things like this is what helps. I don't think going on TV, I hate to, not to rag on y'all's age, but nobody fucking is watching TV anymore at my age group. I'm 31 years old. I don't know one 31-year-old that watches television anymore.
Oh, you're so old.
Shush.
33.
We got Daniel Papi Gonzalez is on the show here tonight. Stand-up comedian. He is also a podcast host. We'll get to that show here in a minute. But question, and
yes,
well, I guess this has all been questions, huh? What a stupid fucking thing to
say.
Hey,
it's called an interview for a reason, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. What is more satisfaction? What is more satisfaction? Performing and trying to win over a real hostile crowd, or just going in there and killing an already hot crowd?
Ooh. Personally, it's winning over a crowd, man. Winning over a crowd, it's like, I don't want to get canceled, but I'm gonna say it anyway. All right. You ever meet a girl for the first time and she's not feeling you, and you're like, okay, don't worry, but you will feel me. Then a couple weeks down the road, you're in her pants, and she was like, but I didn't think I was gonna be in your pants. And it's like, no, it's like that. It's you break them down, you find the funny, and honestly, crowd, the crowd is its own organism. When you get more than 20 people in a crowd, they become their own thing. Like that whole energy of a crowd, it's like one person can be the emotional vampire of the crowd, and if you turn them, it almost gives free rein for the rest of the crowd to laugh. And if you can, and as a comic or as a performer of any kind, if you can figure out who that person is and turn them on your side, you can almost guarantee to win a crowd over. I've been in black rooms where it's like not even a minute on stage, and some guy's going, "You fucking suck," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And by the end of my set, I won him over. And I've been in other crowds where it's been hot and it's been a great crowd. Everything they say is funny, but in the back of my head, I was like, "That wasn't a good set. That was just a hot crowd." It's it's I like winning the crowds over, man. Winning the crowds over. I have a residency in North Austin here at a brewery once a month. I go up there and I perform and I bring my comics with me. And I love being the first one on stage. I love it. It's one of those things, going up cold. Yeah, they know there's a comedy show going, but a lot of these guys never seen me before. They go, "Hey, what are you all about?" And once you get them laughing, it's like, okay, now it's the job for everybody else just to continue this train going. And I love being the guy to get the train going. Let's win this crowd over.
I always
like nothing like it
on a train too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
When you say your comics, how many comics do you travel with normally when you do a show?
Well, my comics, I mean, they're my friends. They're all fellow performers, and I rotate them in. If I'm on the road, there's only like one or two guys that come along with me, and we're at the stage where I'm at. We're all kind of paying our way. We're all just kind of working together to get to the next level. And one of them, Josh Castro, funny comic, Mexican dude. Dude is he's been doing it 12 years, freaking funny. Leonardo Joni, she's another freaking killer. These are guys that you guys have never heard of, but I'm telling you, you will in 5 to 6 years. Where these guys they're gonna get those opportunities to make it big, because. And I say I'm in the mecca of stand-up comedy right now. I live in Austin, Texas. We got Rogan here. We got Tony Hinchcliffe here. Everybody and their mama wants to come to Austin to do comedy, and it's one of those things. Is like out here, you have to be funny to even be noticed. You have to work to even be noticed, and it's not just going up and doing stage time. It's you have to have the entire package. You have to have your social media. You have to promote yourself. You have to, interesting thing. One thing else I learned while being on the road with older comedians and headliners, they always say, "Hey, you guys have it so easy compared to what we had it." And it's like, yes and no. Where before you would have to go, if you lived in New York City, you're standing outside of the cellar and you have to bark people in to get stage time. And it's like, well, we're doing the same thing. Only difference is we're not sitting out in the hot ass freaking weather or rain or snow. We're reaching out, we're blindly reaching out to, Susie 0121 in fucking, Waco, Texas, that doesn't even think that comedy's a thing. She wants to listen to music, and I'm like, "Hey, come check this comedy thing out."
Music can be depressing or it can be uplifting, but comedy, man, that's the only thing you reach for there for a laugh, man. You need to go there to go ahead and get out of the rut that you're in on a Monday or any type of other day that you're working, just to go ahead and actually laugh. That's what they go
for sure.
For sure. So with your buddies and these stage performers that you go, do any of them get sour at you? Like, "Hey, why aren't you taking me on here on this show or that show?" And
no. I mean, there's always gonna be people like that, right? Like, there's always gonna be people. It's like, "Hey, why haven't you booked me? Hey, why aren't you taking me on the road? Hey, why aren't you doing this?" And it's like, it's not about you, dude. And I'll be honest with you. This is something I think is a universal thing. It's like, why would I work with somebody who's not working, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't think you're funny. It's not that I dislike you as a person. But if you're not doing anything with what you've decided to do, let it be construction, podcasting. It's like, I don't want to work with you because you're not working. Because then I'm doing 90% of the work here, and you're just trying to ride my coattails. It's not about riding my coattails. It's about we're building each other up. It's a community, especially in the Austin scene. Yeah. We're really big on community as far as building each other up, because it's a small, like, being a comic is a very small tribe. You think about, just think about the thing in your local comics. How many local comics do you know that are actually good? Like, there's a bunch of open micers and they suck, and then there's like 3 or 4 that are actually good. Those guys work with each other all the time, and it's not because they want to shun the open micers or anything like that. It's simply, it's like, I know that you're working, and I want to help you work.
Paying your dues.
Yeah, they work their material.
Exactly.
They want to test it out in a crowd, and hey, it's not cutting. All right, I'm crossing this off, rewriting something else. Like guy over there, Billy Smith in the chat. "Hey, Papi, if you went camping and woke up with Vaseline smeared all over your ass, would you tell anyone?"
I tell my wife and I ask her what she did. I'm like, babe, what'd you do? Like, babe, why is my ass sticky right now? Like, it's a little more slick than it used to be. What's going on?
And the older you get, the more slick it'll become.
Yeah,
I mean,
there, Philip.
So Daniel, so let's say I want to be an aspiring comic, and I know that Daniel Gonzalez is making a name for himself in Austin, Texas. So I reach out to Daniel and say, hey, Daniel, I want to try to be a comic.
I'm 5 hours away. Yeah.
Okay, say that again.
So the question is, let's say I want to be a comic. I want to take the stage, and I've heard of Daniel Gonzalez. I've seen his acts. I think he's funny as hell. I've heard his story. Daniel, how can if I want to be a comic and I want to join the Daniel Gonzalez team, how do I do it?
I mean, I don't want to say there's no vacancies. I don't ever want to say that, but
of course.
It's to me like when I've had comics reach out to be on my shows, right? And it's no disrespect to them. It's like, I want to see you live, especially if you're a local guy, right? If you're a local comic, it's like, don't send me a video. Don't send me a tape like that. There's so many editing tricks in today's game. People can just take, they can tape themselves. They can put laugh tracks over things. And it's like, it's not ideal, right? And I look at it like this: like you see a stand-up special on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, it's funny, but I guarantee you if you were in person, it's that much better, right? So I look at guys and I'm like, hey, just tell me where you're performing next, and I'll come by and I'll watch your set. And it's or if you're gonna do an open mic, hey, I'm gonna do this open mic at this venue. I'll sign up for that mic too. I'll go work out and then I'll stick around and watch your set. Like, I want to see you perform. I want to see what you're working with.
You want to gauge the talent to see if, hey, man, you got some tools here I can work with, or you need to get the fuck out of here.
100%, right? And it's not even, and if I'm honest with you guys, I don't even look for the laughs when seeing people perform. I want to see how they
delivery.
It's delivery, how they handle hostile crowds, or is it just a hot crowd? It's like, I want to see them with the intangibles of an unknown crowd of strangers, right? Because they're, if I put you in front of, if I book you in my room, and I'm, it's my name, right? Like it's a business, right? It's my name,
right?
It's like, I want to see you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed. I'm not gonna put you up, but if I see you flub in, your punchlines, or I listen to your set and there's nothing but premises and setups, but you're just acting a fool and people are laughing because you're making funny faces and you're like, no. Like, I want to see the process because, like I said, even if you're a very physical comic like Sebastian Maniscalco, the dude still writes like a freaking workhorse. Like the guy is thinking about the set from top to bottom, every little detail. You think all of it is planned, and I hate to say it, it's like it's a one-way conversation as a comic, but at the same time, I want to see comics work. And by working, it's like, I want to see you work through your material. If it doesn't land, are you dwelling that the fact that people didn't laugh, or are you moving on? Are you being a professional? Are you respecting the light?
How much confidence is it sucking out of you, or how much are you gaining out of that? I get it.
Exactly.
You get it. Karen actually has a question for you, if I can bring her in.
I do. So, what are your goals from this level? Do you aspire to, get real big, or are you comfortable here, or how far do you intend on taking your career?
Everything's impact. I want to have the most impact as humanly possible, right? I want to be. I always say to my close friends, I want to buy my wife a big old house with comedy money. That's really what it is. I want to buy a big old house with comedy money. I think that's.
You want to be Jerry Seinfeld in a Puerto Rican form.
Not even Jerry Seinfeld, man. I want to be Daniel Gonzalez. That's it. I don't want to be Jerry. I don't want to be Dave Chappelle. I want to be Daniel Gonzalez.
No. You failed right there, Papi. You want to be Daniel Gonzalez. You want to be the best Daniel Gonzalez is, because that's going to be the brand you want to make. Can't go ahead and make anybody else.
That's exactly what I want to be. I want to be myself at all times, and I want to make the most out of those opportunities as Daniel Gonzalez. I don't want to be this guy that, I don't want to be, I hate to say it, I don't want to be these guys that steal material. I don't want to be the guys that, I got TikTok famous and all of a sudden I'm booked, at Zany's Comedy Club in Chicago, and they're expecting me to do 4 nights 45 minutes every night, yet I don't have 45 minutes. No, I want to have the most impact possible while being myself and being true to myself as an artist. Because comedy is an art. I don't care what anybody says. It might not be respected, but it is an art.
It's respected out there. It is.
You want to tell those guys at CNN?
No. Well, you know what? I don't think sense of humor. Yeah, they're a comedy right there. What are you talking about? They're a bunch of funny fucks. Oh, yeah. Anyway, but you're talking about, all right, you don't have 45 minutes. Tell me this. How much material do you have to write? Like, how many minutes do you think you have to write to get 45 minutes? You have to write like 2 hours worth of material? Have you kind of figured that kind of thing out yet? Or
so it's like this. I have, and I'm looking at my document right now, kind of across the room here. I have.
You got a cheat sheet.
I'm looking at it, and if I was to perform every one of the jokes I've ever written, I have about 4 hours worth of material. How much of that is stage ready? Maybe 30 to 40 minutes, right? And that's over the. I'm still working, and I think every comic is like that. I think when you talk to real comics who perform across the country, even regionally, right? They'll tell you the same thing. It's like, yeah, well, like I have 30 minutes that are really tight, or I have 10 minutes that are really tight. But then they have all this other material that they're still working through, that they're trying to explore and play, and it's it's a process, right? Because what's funny on paper isn't necessarily funny on stage. And what's funny on stage doesn't necessarily translate to big time chunks of time. Sometimes it's, one little line is funny and then you have to expand on that idea. And it's such the process, I'm telling you, the process is where it's at. It's the writing, it's getting back into it, and it's taking the data points and just saying, oh, that's funny, and collaborative writing with other comics, writing on your own and exploring those ideas. That's where the fun is. Like the performing, it's playtime. It's like going to practice all day. Like, it doesn't matter what sport it is. The most fun you'll ever have in a sport. The most fun you'll ever have in a sport.
I would take it like you're practicing football all week, and finally Sunday comes, and that's where you're performing.
Exactly. But the fun part to me, and I've played sports my entire life, and I wrestled in high school, and I did all this. The most fun I ever had wasn't even on game time. It was the moments leading up to that, where I'm with the boys, when I'm with my teammates, and it's like that's the fun, because you get to practice, you get to fail, you get to really explore who you are as a person, and then game time comes, and you have the confidence to just do it, right? Like it's fun. I go up 6-7 times a week, and most of those shows they're workout sets. Yeah. But they're data points for me. It's like, yeah, I'm working a couple new jokes here. I don't know how they're going to go, or I do know how they're going to go. And you take that, you go back, you rewrite, and you try it again. You go back, you rewrite, and try it again. And then all of a sudden the gig comes around, and I crushed. And it's like people go, oh, I can't believe I saw Daniel live. I saw Daniel, in San Antonio, and this kid crushed. But then they go to an open mic and they see me bomb. It's like, that's where I'm supposed to bomb.
Yeah,
that's my gym.
That's where you're making it all work. Daniel Papi Gonzalez on the show. Philip has another question for you. You're getting hit all angles there, Daniel.
That's it, man. So Daniel, I don't want to sound too cliche, but when I think of great comics, I think of the George Lopez, Cheech Marin, Paul Rodriguez. To me, those guys were. I've seen all of those guys live. I've actually had the privilege of meeting a lot of wonderful comics in my career, but specifically for the Latin community, Paul Rodriguez, Cheech Marin, those guys. How much of an influence were they in what you're doing now?
Dude, it's weird. I love Paul Rodriguez. I've seen him live.
He's hysterical. His delivery, everything about him is funny.
Everything, I love Paul. I love Cheech. I love Tommy. I love all these Latin guys. But if I'm honest with you, those guys have not had as much impact on my comedy as you would think. And it's cultural. And it's all cultural. I go back, like my favorite comic of all time isn't necessarily a comic, it's more of a stage actor, is John Leguizamo. Like the first stand-up special I ever saw, I was 8 years old, living down the street from you guys in Miami, Florida. My brother popped in the tape for free. And I'm like, this dude is just talking. I'm laughing as hard as I can ever laugh. And he's had more impact on my comedy as far as topic matter and ideas of where to go than anybody else. And it's not because, look, I'm married to a beautiful Mexican woman. I love my Mexican people, but it's just different, right? I grew up extremely Puerto Rican. I'm a son of a former Air Force, Air Force veteran, and I look at it and I'm like, I relate to his style and his stories more than I related to, George Lopez. Like George Lopez, I still think he's hilarious. I've seen him live too. I've seen him go through, when I started in Dallas, I've seen him come through a couple of times and freaking killer of a comic and so much knowledge to pass down. But when I look at guys, it's like, no, I don't. I subscribe to the fact that you have to find your voice, and finding your voice as a comic, you have to look at people that influence you. Like Chris Rock was a big influence for me. Guys like Joey Diaz, another guy that as a stand-up, that I discovered him as a stand-up, not when I was a kid. I discovered him as a stand-up, and I was like, holy crap, how can I be that funny? And they all say the same thing. It's like, look inwards, don't look outwards, look inwards, look into yourself and write from the heart, and everything will work itself out.
What I appreciate about John Leguizamo is, I think it was his last special. What was it called?
Latin History for Morons. Yeah, I love that special.
I mean, he opens up. He opens up. Again, I'm married to a Hispanic woman, and man, I learned so much about the culture being married to her. And so when I hear his jokes and I understand the delivery, and so, I mean, for a lot of comedians like you, who, because it is that cultural difference. I mean, there's a lot that happens in your demographic that's just so funny to people who don't know about anybody in the Can family, right? I mean, the stories are just so amazing because it's so ridiculous. Like when you hear about the Kukui, when you hear about when you hear some of these crazy stories in these Latin communities.
I don't watch scary movies because I'm Hispanic. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it.
I don't. It's all real to me, bro. Like you think I'm joking? That's not even a joke.
No,
that's for real.
I know you're for real.
I don't like every time I hear a weird noise at night, I'm like, babe, that's like cool. You shut the doors, put your feet under the blanket.
Why do you think I sleep with the TV on? I don't want to hear that shit.
Oh my God!
I
I walk around the house with the anointing oil, bless the house, and then go to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you move into a new place, you call the local priest to have him come bless the house because you don't know what kind of juju was in.
Oh, for sure, man. I call the local Hispanic pastor. I'm like, hey, do you know good babalao? I need to come get the spirits out of here. Where's my Cuban at? I need a pastor, I need a priest, I need a babalao. Let's take care of this because I don't need no bad juju in this place. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see any crucifixes over your shoulder, so obviously.
There's one somewhere. Yeah, they're all at the doorway, just keeping people out. You know what I'm saying?
So I seen one of your bits on, and by the way, if you want to go ahead and check them out on Linktree, put up Papi the Comic, hashtag it. You get all his links. Excuse me. You got all those links. You have from the Blind Tiger Comedy Club. There's another couple of stand-up clips that are on there. Then you get into the real good stuff. You got the Snapchat, the iTunes, the Facebook, the iHeartRadio, the Dannylize This merchandise. Let's talk about your show real quick. Dannylize This. Explain to the folks what this show is all about.
So I've been podcasting for a long time. I've been podcasting since like 2016. The name has changed a couple different times. But Dannylize This came out of necessity. The pandemic hit March 2020, and everything was shut down in Texas for like 4 months. And I missed performing. And basically, I was like, I need to find a way to work through material and be able to talk to people that I love doing because I love this space. I love podcasting. It's one of my good friends. She always says, "You're really good at talking." It's like anytime you get to talk, please talk, right? And it started basically me trying to work out material on my own. Then people, you put out a couple episodes and then, other comics and other artists want to come on the podcast and it's turned into its own thing, man. The podcast, I'm very proud of it. I'll be honest with you. It's one of those things where I've poured my heart and soul into that little thing and it continues to grow. iHeartRadio picked us up. That was pretty awesome. I've been featured in a couple of magazines here locally, and There's supposed to be a Comedy Wham, which is a local website here in the Texas Austin area that wants to feature my podcast. So it's growing, man, and it's all me just looking to get more information about this thing that I love to do, and it's stand up. And it doesn't necessarily come from other stand ups. Sometimes it's musicians, sometimes it's writers, sometimes it's people who've been in entertainment so long that they have knowledge to give, and it's just me asking them questions and taking notes. That's all it is. And I know people love to hear that. I think everybody loves to hear the process of how they made it. Talking like I interviewed Bruce Valanche on my podcast, and his process and how he did all his writing for the theater, and even working with stand-ups, because he's a comedy writer himself. Working with stand-ups just taught me so much on the process. How important it is to be collaborative, how important it is to get on stage and try it and fail. And I say that a lot, is you have to fail to get good. You have to fail, and it's an important thing, man.
Talk to me about this one episode, because you said you don't watch horror flicks, but you did a show on Friday the 13th with an astrologer and a tarot card reader. Explain that.
She's actually she's a good friend of mine, Christy Bellich. She's a phenomenal stand-up. She's phenomenal. She's the sweetest girl in the world. And I hit her up like a couple of days before we recorded. I'm like, "What are you doing Friday?" And she goes, "Well, I ain't doing nothing. I'm stuck in the desert, just kind of working." She's working out in California right now, and I'm like, "Hey, let's do a podcast, and let's go over my horoscope and see what's going on a Friday the 13th, and let's talk about the universe." So we sparked up some left-handed.
That freak you out at all, man?
Bro, I got so blasted on some left-handed cigarettes that I don't even remember half the podcast. I haven't even listened back to it, but apparently it's doing really well. So I go listen to it. It's crazy. It gets.
I was listening to some of this stuff that she went ahead and said about your astrological sign, because I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't. It's what's crazy. It's like, if you're like in the Latino community, right? Like in general, we grew up with a guy called Walter Mercado. They made a documentary about him on Netflix. Walter Mercado, and I'm like, I remember watching all this shit with my grandmama when I was a kid, and even then, I'm like, what the fuck does all this mean? And she's like, it just means that you're gonna do great things, mijo. You're gonna be fine. And I'm like, but where the money at?
Yeah. Oh no, you're just gonna be fine, not wealthy. Fine, like
these brujas.
It fascinates me, right? Because talking to people that are in that space, especially, I don't know, you guys remember a show called Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell?
Yes, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, when I used to work overnights, I used to listen to that show all the time, and it's not necessarily like scary. It's like just like the bizarre, the alien stories, and like the astro projectors and stuff, like the people that like fucking talk to goats. That's always fascinated me, and talking to somebody that's like knee deep into that was always fun. And on top of that, she's a stand-up, so it was just a fun time.
So yeah, and make sure you guys go ahead and visit iHeartRadio and look up Dannylize. Say that again.
Just Dannylize. So it's like analyze this, but Dannylize. That's it.
DANNYLIZE this. That's the name of this. And there's a ton of episodes on here. Go ahead and check it out. Especially check out that Friday the 13th one. He gets freaked out. Honest to God, you see Papi getting freaked out. You know what? That's the other thing too. I'm over here hearing one of your stand-ups. How you got the name Papi, and how you can't stand white women calling you Papi, because it sounds
it's the worst.
It just sounds like you're getting raped by your aunt or something like that, your mom.
I know, it's funny.
But
no, I used to be
number one, how'd you get Papi? And number two, what ethnicities do the women need to be for it to sound hot?
All right. So first of all, any person that's ever been nicknamed Papi will tell you, if it's not a Colombian from fresh off the boat, or a Cuban fresh off the boat, it's not sexy. It's like you need the deep Spanish accent, the Papi, como estás? You need that legit, it only sounds sexy, And I used to date this white chick. Actually, when I lived in Florida, I used to date this white chick up in the Kissimmee areas, and she would try really hard because my family, since I was a kid, they would always call me Papi. They was like, "Oh yeah, Papi, how you doing?" You know, whatever. And it's just what my family called me. And she tried it, and every time it was just the biggest boner kill of all time. And I'm like,
I am
Jesus,
flaccid. Shit.
damn it. Like, why are you? No, just call me Daniel. Call me Danny. Don't have to call me Pappy. Like, don't
Please.
call me Pappy. Like, I'm not your fucking grandfather, bitch. Like, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to make retarded babies. Okay.
I love Papi. Papi.
No,
Okay,
the
so-
Papi.
Don't say that, sir. My dick is extremely flaccid right now. I was getting a little chub for you. Now it's
Now,
gone.
see,
It
that's
can't
what I
get any
want.
worse then,
I don't.
right?
I don't need you popping a semi, because you're looking at, you're looking at the man, the myth, the legend. I understand, but no, stay flaccid, sir.
God,
Please.
what an ego.
No, I mean, dude, the dude is sucking on a fucking vape. I'm sure it smells like blueberry. He looks pretty tough, but
It's actually strawberry watermelon, sir. Strawberry watermelon. Okay, listen, it's
I have
delicious.
I have the same type of drink when I go to the bar. So listen, I'm right there.
Listen. I'm a native. I grew up in Florida. I wish I was right there in studio with you guys. Okay, I grew up in Florida. I love my fruity drinks. Okay,
Now, you don't want to be where I am. I'm in Beaumont, brother.
You're in Beaumont.
I'm in Beaumont, Texas. When are you coming?
Oh man, book me. I'm there. Book me. I'm there. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, you got an audience of fucking 2 people and 4 boxers. I don't think you want to perform for us.
Oh, why not? Those are the best shows.
He'll bring the Vaseline.
Yeah, who brings the Vaseline? Good question, Karen. I like that
Brother,
question.
hey,
This is probably one of the best questions
We're
had.
a veteran. We're a military family. We keep Vaseline on hand.
See, and I bet he has the camping tents too.
Nah, I pitch my own. Thank you.
I'm sure
you pitch your own.
It ain't a very big tent, but it's there.
I really hope pitching we're talking something else, and then I don't even want to talk about that. Danielle Papi Gonzalez, you got anything lined up in the Austin area or anything else?
I do. June 2nd, I am hosting a headliner show with headliner Ku Ugenti, very funny comic out of Houston. He's coming to do my room, and he's gonna freaking kill it. He's such he's a veteran, man. He's been doing it out of Houston for the better part of 10 years, 10 plus years now, like 15 now. Travels all over the South, all over California. He's really, really funny, along with Leonardo Joni, a good friend of mine, and Mike Hudak, just a freaking killer of a comic. And then I'll be in Springfield, Missouri, June 18th and 19th, headlining. So pray for me. I do need help to make white people laugh because apparently, middle America scares me a little bit,
You're too far
back
from the
down to
border.
Florida, and trust me, we got plenty of clubs over here for you. Come on down.
No.
Down here.
I'd love to go back to Puerto Rico anytime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At Papi the Comic on Linktree, you go ahead and get all of his stuff. And I'm not talking about just some of the stuff. I'm talking about access to everything. The only thing he's missing is OnlyFans. Pretty soon that's going to be happening. He's going to be spreading his cheeks for everybody to see. But no,
don't forget your feet.
Yeah, don't forget your feet, of course. The foot fetish thing. At Papi the Comic on Linktree, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. Of course, you got the Snapchat, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Vimeo, of course, if you want to go ahead and make some donations. Very, very good comic. Go ahead and make sure you do it. Daniel, it was a pleasure. We want to thank you very much here. And
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me, guys.
With the exception of the first 5 seconds of the interview when I go ahead and called you Rodriguez, I apologize.
Rodriguez. I mean, I was expecting something. I didn't think it was going to be right off the bat. I'm like, that
racism. Here's the Charles Richardson show. We bring racism to your face.
Another insurrection because of my last name. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
No, I'm over here trying because it's better to go ahead and win over the crowd, right?
Start hostile. We'll win you over halfway through. It's all good.
Well,
who do you think you are, Bill Burr?
Very thin line. Very thin line. Daniel, again, very, very glad that you've made time, and thank you very much for it. And God bless
thank you, guys. You enjoy the rest of your evening, all right?
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to a break. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll come back hour number 2 right here on the Charles Richardson Show. Stay tuned.
Off to grab a beer. We'll be right back after this.
want to fight back, a story to tell. Drag my body, pull me by my hair. Dirty, dusty, grimy, get your body there. Put me in the cell, you can't take me out. But I'll find a way, without a doubt. Always find a way, always put up a fight. It's not trying, use all of your might. Get and screaming all through the night. We're kicking and screaming. What a shame, we can't think the same. Put up or shut up, you're going insane. I want my life, I want control. I want you to stop it all, no more control. Let me be free, live in my life. Don't think or turn back, stab like a knife. Find your sanctuary, no better than today. Do what you want, don't let it slip away. Kicking and screaming all through the night. We're kicking and screaming.
I'm still reeling from this fight, but won't back down. Can't help feeling. Come tonight, this all comes down. Hang on and I will reach inside and I will take you. Hang on and I will make you all that I've become. I can't make you feel inside, it's come undone. I can't take you from this life if you won't come. Just hang on and I will reach inside and I will take you. Hang on and I will make you all that I've become. Can you look at what's inside and see what's wrong before it's gone? Out beyond the darkness lies all I've become, all I've become. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Here's the latest Live at Gotham podcast from ComedyCentral.com.
The Congress actually voted in order to stop illegal immigration. They voted to build a wall across the Mexican border. And that wall would be 750 miles long. And apparently no one in Congress has an atlas or looked at a map to realize that that border is 2,000 miles long, leaving it with a 1,250-mile-long door. The biggest door in the history of mankind. I don't know why they thought a wall would work. Walls don't work. They haven't worked ever. The Great Wall of China didn't work. The Maginot Line didn't work. Walls don't work. Not since they invented planes. And I don't know what makes us think that we could actually build a wall. I don't think we could do it. We're having trouble building the levees in New Orleans. We're not even getting the homes done there. Apparently, nobody can build things anymore. And I firmly believe that if we were to build this wall, that it would be 12 feet wide and 750 miles high. And the contractor would be standing there before the congressman arrived, going, son of a bitch! But apparently Congress knew that we couldn't build the wall, because here's the kicker. They voted to build the wall. They didn't vote for the money to build the wall. Why would you have the vote at all? What are you voting on? I would like to build an imaginary wall. And I think the American people, it would be great for them to come down and see the imaginary wall we built that is keeping out the imaginary Mexicans.
To watch even more, go to ComedyCentral.com and click on Motherlode.
Get pussy. Call Charles now. 813-699-5353.
All right, welcome back. Excuse me. 813-699-5353. I'm going to show some love over here to the woman to my right. Normally I say this without her here, but I'm going to say it now. Hull Culling and Contracting. They're the team to go ahead and handle all your home improvements, lawn maintenance, car maintenance, and a lot more. Even if you're not in the Southwest Florida area, you know what? Give them a call anyway, because David travels. And when I talk about traveling, I'm talking about retirement homes. Make sure you go ahead and give him or Karen a call. The one number is 941-204-1264. Again, mainly in Southwest Florida, but if you need a big project done, and I'm talking huge, Caroline, huge, make sure you go ahead and give him a call anyway. 941-204-1264. It's Hull Culling and Contracting, 941-204-1264. All right. We got the gang all back in here. Philip is back on with the mic unmuted. Alyssa's in here, so we're going to go ahead and go 3 wide on this thing. There we go. I'm still trying to find a server that I can actually go ahead and get 4 cameras on here at once. That's what I need. Not the StreamYard bullshit.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, you never seen my... Have you seen my layout?
I have
you never
not.
seen my layout, have you?
I have not.
Oh, you know what? That just opens up another door.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. No, you didn't say look at my spread. You said my layout. There's a difference.
Well, that I did. I said layout. I mean, I did say layout.
That's what I'm saying. You just said my spread. I probably would have diverted the question over to Alyssa.
No, she's seen my spread only way too much.
Poor lady. You're in my prayers.
I'm not complaining.
Exactly. Thank you. Wouldn't expect you to complain.
That's a good woman right there, man.
She is a very good woman. She's a very good one. I told you she means a lot to me, and I don't think I'd be alive if I didn't meet her again. Honest to God. It's.
Yeah, I almost feel like I'm left out. Like I need to put my glasses on because everybody here's got glasses but me.
Well, no, it's just you have better eyesight than most of us, unless you're fucking got contacts on.
No, I just absolutely refuse to be able to for my viewers to see my screen in my glasses. I'm weird like that.
It is annoying.
It is. So here's I might as well go ahead and do that.
Yeah, see, that ain't gonna work for me.
No, it's not. No, don't do it, please. God forbid, don't do it.
Well, I mean, there it is. I mean, it's fucking horrible. What the fuck? Look like a nerd.
Were you trying to call me, motherfucker?
No, I said I look like a nerd for me, for Philip Blackman, not Charles Richardson, not anybody here. Calm yourself, calm your tits. You're acting like a Democrat. Calm yourself.
When I would do lives for jewelry and I tried using like the light ring, the only thing I could focus on was seeing the reflection of that light ring on my glasses on the screen. And it was annoying. So then I was like, okay, I'll take my glasses off. Then I couldn't see anything. So I'd have people commenting like on what number they wanted. I'd have no idea. Cause you'd see me squinting, trying to see, like, I can't win. I couldn't figure out how to position it either. It's like, oh, well.
So
yeah, when I'm doing some segments, like I had a guest tonight when I was reading his bio, like I put it on Microsoft Word and I blow it up to like 16 font, double spaced. You know, I'm very much embracing.
It's like the whole screen says pop, and then you have to scroll down P.
Yeah. It's like a big PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
I've got bifocal, so I don't have to blow it up that big, but I still have to, like, even on and I find myself, like, especially if I have to do something on the phone, you put in the password and everything, and then I'll catch myself hitting the forgot password rather than the login little button. And I'm like, okay, expand it out bigger because apparently you can't see where it is.
You gotta zoom in.
So here is my thing here.
Holy shit. How many screens does one man need? And he still fucks up his technology. Isn't that something?
Apparently 6. And there you go. There you got Alyssa over there.
Holy shit.
There's Karen over there. There's my rigged cameras right here. Alyssa's little thing going on over there with the cricket over here.
Messy craft area.
The craft area. And you see these ears that she does for Disney? She does those by hand. So, and then in case I have other guests, there's another mic or two. It's over here.
So do you use all that shit? Do you use all 4 screens?
Yes. Well, the top 2 are for my job.
Okay.
These 4 are for the See, here's
I gotta get a class from you on Sam's because this is sick.
Here's my Manycam studio. This is what StreamYard looks like. I have what's going on with Papi over here. And then over here, it's just pretty much Sam's.
I've got to get a tutorial from you on Sam's because you go much more in depth than I've ever thought about doing.
Well, just saying, it's
well, hey man, look, you follow the pros, right? Do what they do. So, you know,
I just want to figure out how to get that scrolly thing down at the bottom.
The scrolly thing.
That's a StreamYard.
How you have your advertisement at the bottom?
Yeah, that's a StreamYard issue. That's just a banner.
That's one of the banners that you can link up. Why you use StreamYard?
Who? Not me. When I was doing the jewelry, I was trying to get that to because I guess there's a way to say like the upcoming number, so I don't have to hold that stupid little number badge thing. It'll all comes up on a banner or something. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out.
Well, you can use a free version of StreamYard, and it'll create the pretty much the layout. Like Charles has his own logo up in the upper right, his background. It allows you to do everything that you want to do, and you know, it might work.
It would. 813-699-5353. Sorry, John, I didn't pay attention. I was actually too busy showing my shit. But go ahead and call back in if you want. 813-699-5353. We actually have memes, which we'll get to here in a few. But hey, so Karen, you get to go ahead and actually gloat a little bit. Your boy DeSantis was voted one of 100 most influential people in the world or in America or
Such
something
an
like that.
easy win.
No, 100. Such an easy win.
Yes.
So
Did you see his fight against fentanyl?
no. What's his fight against fentanyl? I know his
just
fight
another
against Disney
drug.
because Disney didn't agree with them.
Look, and yeah, I'm not.
And that's the only reason you hate him, right there.
No, but you know what? Well, listen, it
You
doesn't look good. Let's
But
put
you
it that
don't
way.
see the big picture of how you guys are like everybody was so concerned that night about the Disney's debt being pushed over on taxpayers, but nobody looked at the aspect of how many billions of dollars that Disney has completely avoided paying to Florida as a whole by becoming that entity.
But let me ask you a question though. How long has DeSantis been governor?
No, this is just this is his first term, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is his first term.
Okay. So DeSantis is his first term. Up until the time Disney went ahead and went against the no gay bill or the don't say gay bill, all of a sudden this is brought up. Why wasn't it brought up before?
Okay, if you have information on look, and I'm a very patient and very kind person, but somebody starts throwing digs at me and stabbing me in the back or trying to lay out something, because don't say gay has nothing to do with that bill that he put out in the first place.
Doesn't.
So you start slamming me, guess what, buddy? The cards are on the table and you're going to get it too.
Since 2019, you're right. So I guess this is his first his first term, 2019. So
he was part of the House of Representatives in 2012. Yes. So he's got.
But he wasn't the governor.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying now he's at this stage. But yeah, he was a part of the representatives from 2013 and 2018. But now all of a sudden it's like, okay, so somebody disagrees with him on a bill.
It's big. The picture's bigger than that.
I don't. I'm
because first off, you have an entity that is totally given into all these new movements of non-binary and the genders that don't exist. Sorry, but they don't exist. And when you have a large, huge, influential entity being able to push that when he's trying to help correct that, then yeah, I can see saying, well, this is worth fighting. So you want to stab me on my bill, then.
But it had nothing to do with stabbing him on the bill. The bill passed anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is they, Disney, they were very silent. And the only reason that Disney spoke up is because they had all these activists out there like, hey, why aren't you saying something? That's the only reason Disney put themselves in that position.
Because people don't realize in the state of Florida how much Disney has their hands in, how many television stations they own and govern. They don't just own them as, oh, hey, I want to have these television stations. No, they control content. They don't understand how much they dabble into our school schedules and basically getting into the whole politics, how much money they put into getting politicians to waver their direction.
Let me ask you this. How much money do you think Facebook pays the state of California? Probably nothing.
Well,
probably about the same as Disney. And Facebook is also a huge conglomerate with social media and other things that they do as well. Now, it may not be television stations yet.
You can't say that Facebook hasn't. They have their own lobbyists. They have their own lobbyists that have fought. They played a big, huge hand in the election. If you remember this.
I'm just trying to bring up another big company.
But it's happening with them too. But they're also not the ones going against DeSantis. Disney has opened their big mouth, and
you just made my point. So if Disney didn't open their big mouth, I guess their Ready Creek would still be flowing as fast as it is now.
Probably.
Well, so it's basically like, oh, you went ahead and said something against my bill. Well, I'll show you.
Well, yes, but that's politics as a whole too. I'll scratch your back as long as you scratch mine till you screw me over.
That's it.
So, and it's the game that's been there for centuries, but I just don't blame them for calling it out on it. And I don't foresee it being first off, if it completely goes and stays with his executive order, I'd probably be really surprised. But if it does, I do not see it as being such a hindrance to the state of Florida like everybody was up in arms thinking it's going to be. I actually see Florida gaining more revenue, at least being able to pay for, the police and the roadways and the trash and like everything everybody was worried about. To me, that was the smallest interest in the whole situation. But that was just me personally. Those weren't my concerns. I wondered how far Pandora's box was going to be opened on all that Disney has its hands dabbled into.
And Pandora, isn't that owned by
not
Disney or something?
Probably. But everything they have their hands dabbled into isn't all, nice.
But look what they do. They're the first company out here to actually bring tourism to a new level. I mean, everything they're basically feeding into Florida's economy. So what happened if Disney wasn't here? Would they be flourishing as well as they would be now?
Well, what if worms had machine guns? Would birds fuck with them? That's a ridiculous what if.
I agree. It is a what if, but you know what? It is a thing that DeSantis is like, oh, okay, well, you're speaking bad about my bill. But yet Disney has done stuff for Florida that he doesn't realize, or he's overlooking just because he has a little bit of an issue.
He doesn't deny that, but what he did deny, and what I think his biggest message is Florida has left you alone to run this conglomerate on your own.
So why take it away? Why go ahead and
so
go in
you're
there?
going to slam the state for trying to correct itself? And the biggest reason that Disney went ahead and opened their mouth was because, do you realize how much money they make off the LGBTQ? And I'm going to end the initials there because I don't know the rest of them. That community and all the lobbyists and stuff. And what pisses me off with that is not that they have that whole week dedicated to them, but what they allow. So who was it? Paula? Janet Jackson. They took her statue down because of her stupid wardrobe malfunction and showing a nipple.
Yeah.
But have you been to Disney when the LGBTQ's in there half naked running up and down the main street? That's okay.
I missed that.
Well, not necessarily the LGBTQ whatever.
I think that's anybody that's wearing a bikini because it's too
no,
fucking hot.
I have seen some people dressed rather inappropriately at Disney.
And Disney was standing up for that community because, like you guys said, they were in their ear. Why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you standing up against them and supporting us? We dish out hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, to you every year.
So was there a way Disney could go ahead and say, hey, listen, we have part of our people that come to Disney who we do the gay week and the gay day and that stuff like that, and we support them. Is there a way they could have went ahead and maybe reworded it? It's like, listen, we don't completely agree with this, and
yes,
you understand this, and maybe everybody could like just stop butting heads and just
not gone public with it,
right?
Well, no, they could have gone public with it, I think. But the issue is when they go out there and say we're going to do everything we can to overturn this, that is a company on a mission. They made an open statement. They go like, hey, LGBTQIA. We
I'm not too happy with the CEO of Disney right now. I really ain't, because I think they should have just went ahead and said, listen, you don't play politics unless you're running for governor. Don't play politics.
That's it.
I mean, they need to take away from that. If they want to make an announcement, make it to the community. It's like, listen, we can't control what the government does. That's out of our reach. I'm sorry. This is how we stand, though.
Just like Oprah Winfrey got up on her show and they actually sued her for talking down beef. Okay. And then beef productions plummeted. So they could sue because all based on her influence. And that's the same thing. But then I back up many, many years and I blame the politicians for allowing an amusement park entity or any business of that, any form for that matter, to be allowed to have a say as big as they do in politics and our education system. Even they should have never allowed that in the first place.
So talking about beef,
it's what's for dinner.
Let's segue out of Disney and let's segue on to McDonald's and Wendy's. So apparently Wendy's and McDonald's are being sued over burger size and accused of false advertising. I'm over here like, about fucking time. You take a look at the Big Mac on a big screen and you see how beautiful that thing is.
But
It's beautiful. I don't care.
They do all kinds of tricks. I've
Anyway.
seen like all the stuff that they do to make it look nicer for pictures. It's not real food.
Have you gotten real hungry for? I mean, this is what this says right here. Have you gotten real hungry for a burger after seeing an advertisement for the latest fast food creation? Then ended up disappointment because of what you got was nothing like the ad. If you have, you're not alone. Now, Wendy's and McDonald's are being sued in a class action lawsuit, alleging the companies are falsely advertising their burger patties and the toppings that come with it.
Well, here's the thing. Anybody who has ever been to McDonald's and ordered a Big Mac in their life knows that it is not going to, in any way, shape, or form, look like the Big Mac in the picture. It is smashed. The sauce is everywhere. There's lettuce all over the place. It's a mess. It's a delicious mess, but it's a mess.
I think I'm the only one that does not like a Big Mac.
You
I don't
probably
like
did, yeah.
McDonald's.
I don't give a shit about McDonald's. Nothing about
The-
them.
Me either. I don't like it.
The 35-page, and you listen, we can't accept that. We can't forget about Dave's double and Dave's triple over here for Wendy's. The 35-page lawsuit naming Wendy's and McDonald's is the second such suit filed within months, as Burger King was accused of the same thing, according to NewJersey.com, NJ.com. The lawsuit reads, Wendy's materially overstates the amount of toppings and the size of the beef patties for nearly every menu item in its current advertisements. That's what the lawsuit says. The plaintiff in the case, Justin Chimeni, said that Wendy's undercooks its patties to make them appear 20% larger than those that they sell in their restaurants. He accused McDonald's of doing the same thing. He went ahead and continued, the Wendy's and McDonald's advertisements for its burger and menu items are unfair and financially damaging customers as they are receiving food that is much lower in value than what is being promised. Let me put it to you this way, motherfucker. You want to go ahead, how much do you think you're going to pay for this Big Mac? Okay, Big Mac goes on for like $4.49 a sandwich. All right, you go ahead and go to Five Guys and you get that beautiful freaking double beef patty with cheese and any motherfucking toppings you want, and you're paying like $8 goddamn. What are you being overcharged for? You don't want it? Go to Five Guys, get a real beef patty or whatever. Just go. Get the fuck out of here. All right.
And you wonder why we're the most obese nation in the world.
Obese? What are you talking about? You call me fat?
This is
no, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. We got people suing because, your burger, your shitty fucking hamburger isn't as big as we want it.
Yeah.
Make it yourself.
Yeah, your shitty burger is more shittier than I thought it was. I mean, I expected shit. This is shitty.
I mean, this is the same McDonald's that charges more for a salad than they do for a hamburger. That is really
yes.
Yeah, they don't keep salad on stock very much because they don't sell it. Chimene is seeking monetary damages. Chimene is seeking monetary damages for all Wendy's and McDonald's customers who said were deceived by the ads. He is also asking the court to require the companies to discontinue deceptive advertising practices. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go ahead and take this ad that shows this girl going ahead and taking this big fucking thing, pushing it right to her face? The sandwich is about the size of her face, and she magically opens her mouth wider than the sandwich, puts it in, and all of a sudden you have all this goose coming out, the Big Mac sauce coming out, and then you have the fries, crisp golden brown, and you dunk them in a ketchup, and ketchup flies all over the fucking place in slow motion. I mean, what are we doing here?
Bring back where's the beef?
They'll just show a picture of the messy Big Mac in the box with lettuce all over the place and the sauce everywhere.
This is after you've eaten the burger. There's still 10 pounds of lettuce left.
For real.
There's still 10 pounds of lettuce left.
Yeah, these lawsuits, they're garbage. This lawsuit ain't going to go anywhere. It's going to get thrown out because it's stupid. There is no one. This guy is going to be hard pressed to prove financial damage, because because of the point that you just brilliantly made about going to Five Guys, right? If you want that great big old hamburger, then you're going to pay for it.
Go somewhere else.
I mean, listen, you want that Whopper? I'm sorry, I don't care what the fucking size that Whopper is on screen. It's fucking big in my hand, and I'm talking about the sandwich I eat, not the other thing that's in my hand right now. So neither Wendy's or McDonald's obviously respond to the post for comments. So Obviously, they're going to keep it hush hush, and they're just going to say, "Listen, how many McNuggets is this going to take for us to get us?" We need a 20
and he'll settle out of court for a lifetime supply of chicken McNuggets.
Yeah.
This is stupid. It ain't going nowhere.
The chicken nuggets that aren't as advertised.
Yeah, they're not as advertised anymore. It's all white meat. No, it's not. I see some dark in there. That's because it's cooked, sir.
That's a
My daughter's friend went last Wednesday and got the 40-piece nugget.
Yes.
And then called us like 45 minutes later and said she wasn't going to church because she had an upset stomach.
Well, it's because she ate too many nuggets.
Did you actually eat 40? She's like, yes. I wanted to see if I could do it. I'm like, well, no wonder you have an upset stomach.
Did you ask her how does the Tide Pods taste? Because no shit.
I can't eat one of those. I don't know about any. See, this is one thing I hate about fast food.
Nuggets,
I can eat one, but I mean, I'm capable of doing it, but one will go straight through me.
You love your body. Good for you.
Well, I don't like fast food. I don't know if I love my body right now or if I'm proof of it, but I don't care for fast food. And the other reason I try to steer away from it is I can take the family out and spend the same amount of money at a sit-down restaurant as I do for fast food, unless I'm buying from the dollar menu, which who wants to do that? Because everybody wants the whole meal and they want their drink. So that's another reason I said you might as well have something. I don't want to say it's perfectly healthy, but to me it's better.
It's cheaper just to cook at home. I mean,
I agree.
But it's like you have to have the effort, the desire, and to be awake to cook at home, and we don't have any of that.
We fall into the fast food trap.
Yeah, well, you know what? We try to stay away from it. We try to go ahead and go to Culver's.
It doesn't
Culver's,
work.
Culver's is not fast food. Culver's is medium food because you have to wait longer.
Small though.
What?
Their portions are so small.
Well, hold on a second.
Really?
What's an average portion to you? Do you realize if I held up a can of SpaghettiOs, that's a feeding of 4? You realize that, right?
No, it's not.
Feeding of 4.
2.
2?
I'm pretty sure it's a serving of 2.
Yeah,
but
and even that,
I don't eat SpaghettiOs either.
But I'm just saying that's the portion. And I think Culver's
you don't
is a
think
big portion.
Culver's compared to, let's just say, McDonald's and Burger King, even Wendy's, is smaller?
I think Culver's is average size because obviously we're not comparing a Big Mac. We're comparing their butter burger.
Well, I don't know if you guys eat fish, but
I do.
Okay, so
I eat the fish. I eat
the fish fillet.
Fish fillet. Yeah, the fish sandwich is much better than McDonald's. Much better. It's much better than anywhere.
Size
is pretty good. Size is good because they use a whole fucking fillet. They don't use a square
I only
portion.
got this little small. It seemed like half the cod.
Well, you need to find out who's the fisherman over there.
I get the chicken sandwich at Culver's a lot, and that seems like it's.
I'll tell you
size.
a place that
it
has like stopped in time, and they just don't seem to realize that time has passed by and prices have increased, and I hope they stay that way. Is a little like pit stop off the side of the road on the way to like Winter Haven. So down 17. Well, you guys pass it all the time.
Probably, yeah.
Barbecue pit place.
Oh,
we see it all the time, and we never stop.
$7.99. You guys like pulled pork? I mean, that's just one of the things. David is obsessed with their pulled pork, but you get one of those ginormous rolls, and it literally is like that big around, and there's enough meat on there to make 2 of those, a big thing of fries, another side. So I usually get coleslaw, but David does double fries or baked beans, and your drink, $7.99. And I'm like, so you just stay lost in time back here.
There's a
now. Does it go right through you? Are you running for the border like a little bit later?
No, it's all fresh cooked. That day, in they start their smokers at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
There's a Chinese place in Northport next to Publix.
Okay, I know where you're at.
That's real cheap and good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
See, I've seen it, but I've never tried it because those smaller spots sometimes scare me.
Well, I had tried it because one of my coworkers had suggested it when I was working. Well, I still work over in that area, and she's like, it's really good and it's really cheap. And Sure enough, I've been over there a few times.
We had the best Chinese buffet when I lived in Cape Coral. And once I moved out of Cape Coral, I used to go back. Well, I went back one time and it wasn't there anymore. And I thought I was going to cry because I really, really liked this place because it was one of the few Chinese places I could go to and I wasn't sick halfway through the meal. So, but come to find out, they got shut down because they were not stealing, but they were taking the meat from the dumpster from the Winn-Dixie right up the plaza from them. And I'm like, oh, well, it was tasted really
man, that was
now there's your lawsuit right there.
Yeah, that's something you can really sue over.
Well, at least it wasn't cats, right?
Well,
I don't know. Maybe cat would have been better. Fresh kitty.
I'm not so sure that either one is something I'd want to eat.
God.
But yeah, I was like, oh, all the years we ate.
All the years I've loved
Every one of my kids learned how to use chopsticks there and everything.
Memories.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go to memes because we got them loaded up and we're running out of time. Do you have good news? Yes, we do. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and load up the memes. Memes. All right, let's go ahead and go right to it. So this one's a little lighter to read, but I'm going to get to it. A teenager comes downstairs to go on a date with a see-through blouse and no bra. Her grandmother just pitched a fit, telling her not to dare go out like that. The teenager tells her, loosen up, Grams. These are modern times. You got to let your rosebud show. And out she goes. The next day, the teenager comes downstairs and the grandmother is sitting there with no top on. The teenager wants to die. She explains to her grandmother that she has friends coming over and that it's just not appropriate. The grandmother says, loosen up, sweetie. If you can show off your rosebuds, that can display my hanging baskets. I got another one like that too here. Gas is so damn high, the mailman is working from home. He called me yesterday to read my bills to me.
I love it.
Here's Grandpa on the edge of a pool table with a golf club, obviously playing golf on a pool table. The caption reads, I gave my uncle an edible and he said he didn't feel anything. What are these? 4 turtles? Yeah,
I want to know how he got up there because when I have one, I can't feel nothing. I literally can't feel my limbs.
There's 4 turtles in black suits. One comes in not wearing a suit. The group of water bottles in my room when I bring another one in.
No, those aren't turtles.
What are they?
It's Squirtle from
Pokemon.
Oh,
fuck.
Yeah, so yeah, swing and a miss. Didn't catch that one.
Yep, here we go. I walked in the bedroom to find my wife dead in the bed the other day. Looking at her lifeless there, I decided to give it one last go. Right in the middle, she opened her eyes and shouted, boo! Honestly, some people are fucking sick in the head. Husband walks into Victoria's Secret to purchase a sheer negligee for his wife. He has shown several possibilities that range from $250 to $500 in price. The more sheer, the higher the price. He opts for the sheerest of them all at $500 and takes it home. He presents it to his wife and asks her to go upstairs, put it on, and model it for him. Upstairs, the wife thinks that she's no dummy. I have an idea. I'm going to so sheer. Oh, it's so sheer that it might as well be nothing. I won't put it on. I'll do the modeling naked, return it tomorrow, and keep the $500 for myself. Well, she appears naked in the balcony and strikes a pose. The husband says, good grief. You think for $500 they'd at least iron it? He never heard the shot. Funeral's on Tuesday at noon.
Oh my gosh.
Burn.
How rude.
This one, dick riding is not a form of transportation. Yes, sir.
No?
No, it's not. So get used to it. If that's the case, David would be a lot further along.
That's true.
Here is the water boy and Mama, of course, Mama the devil. Mama says, you don't have what they call the social skills. And Bobby Boucher says, that's why I'm not on Facebook sharing memes, Mama. Roadrunner's maximum speed is 20 miles an hour. An average coyote can run up to 42 miles an hour. Everything in our childhood was a lie.
Right?
As the Kardashians celebrate their 20th season, I would like to congratulate myself for never watching a single goddamn episode.
Me either.
Yeah,
No, absolutely. Joke of the day, teacher and a kid named Billy. Teacher says, Billy, if there are 5 birds on the fence and you shoot one, how many birds are left? Billy says, none. The others have to fly away. Teacher says, the answer is 4, but I like the way you think. Billy says, I have a question for you. There are 3 women eating ice cream, one licking, one biting, and one sucking. Which one is married? The teacher nervously answers the one that's sucking. Billy says, well, the answer is the one with the wedding ring on, but I like the way you think. Here's one of those signs where you're protected by the alarm company. This one says, protected by fuck around and find out. Surveillance.
Yes.
Here's one of those 200 popsicles, obviously with the popsicle stuff gone. I ate a popsicle and ended up with $38 worth of lumber.
Well, yeah. I'm surprised they haven't started making them out of string or something.
Here's a real homely guy saying, this is my step ladder. I never knew what happened to my real ladder.
That's a dad joke right there.
Here's a cheetah yawning. Male cheetahs have a specific bark that causes female cheetahs to ovulate on demand. Watch out, ladies.
Wow.
Here's a conversation between.
Used one of those.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, hon. Here's a conversation between me and the cop. Cop, do you know why I stopped you? Looks back at my trail full of donkeys. I say because lowest shades hauling ass. Taser deployed. Everybody wants a son until he's walking around in a hoodie while it's 1,000 degrees outside and he's calling you bruh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Except for the bra part, all my kids went through that phase. I don't get that.
Stefan did it this weekend. It's like 93 degrees out there, and he pulls out a long sleeve shirt and pants. I'm like, what are you doing?
Melting.
And he attempts to call us bruh, and he gets put in the room.
He's gonna get choke slammed.
Here's a sign. I am not aging like fine wine. I'm aging like milk getting sour and chunky.
God, amen.
Fuck Prince Charming. Go for the wolf. He can see you better, hear you better, and eat you better. I'm trying to eliminate negativity from my wife. Therefore, Mondays are now Taco Tuesday Eve until further notice.
Right?
There you go.
And that is the means for today, Monday, May the 23rd.
Did I forget to send you that other one? I think I did.
No, I don't think so.
Taco Tuesday.
No.
Taco Tuesday. Go ahead, John. John, go ahead, John. John.
Hello.
John. Going once. Going twice. Bye-bye, John.
Damn.
I muted him before he could say anything, so but I did hear like a little loud, like bitchy scream or something like that. So wasn't sure what it was. 813-699-5353. We got 12 more minutes. Let's see if we got another story before we get to good news.
Yes, what's coming out this weekend?
Anybody hear about monkeypox in South Florida?
Oh, Lord.
What the fuck is going on over there? What the hell are we getting ourselves into? Who the fuck is fucking monkeys? Honest to God.
Monkeypox.
I know we're
off.
Let's try this again. Go, John.
Welcome home, Karen.
Well, thank
Welcome
you.
home. You're welcome. I miss you, sweetheart.
Oh, I miss you guys too.
Yeah, I love you being on the show, and I'm happy to see you back.
Well, this is only a one-time thing. She's going to be gone for the next 6 months.
I won't be here Wednesday, but I'll be here Friday.
Hopefully.
Hey, Charles, great show tonight. Philip, great show tonight.
Thank you.
Well, Alyssa's here too. You going to say something to her?
I love Alyssa.
I don't count.
I guess not.
He said hello to you.
Oh,
in
you
chat.
do count.
I was like,
You do count.
showing love to Karen and Philip, and I mean, he's tugging our dicks and kissing Karen's nipples over there, and nothing for Alyssa.
Shut the fuck up. Let me talk to her.
Okay, go.
So how was your day today?
It was all right.
Just all right?
Yeah, I mean, I worked all day. So
What Charles do? Anything?
he was working.
Did Charles cook, clean?
No, he was working.
Does he massage your feet when you come home?
He used to. It's been a while.
Well, I do it all the time.
Her legs don't extend that far.
Yeah, right.
It's time to get rid of them. You're out, Charles. I'm in.
All right, go ahead.
Have a good night.
Yep, take care.
Love you guys.
Yep, bye-bye. Might live longer. I don't know. Oh, God. So what the hell's going on with smallpox? Monkeypox. What the hell is this going on?
Smallpox.
Yeah,
now
well,
what?
actually, this is a variant apparently of smallpox. So it's monkeypox, a presumptive case of monkeypox down in South Florida, there in Fort Lauderdale. Health officials in Broward County and the CDC are investigating a case which appears to be related to the international travel The Florida Department of Health in Broward said in a news release the person is in isolation, and local Department of Health officials are notifying people who may have been exposed to the patient. The health agency provided no further details about the case. Monkeypox is a virus that originates in wild animals, no shit, like rodents and primates, and occasionally jumps to people. When it jumps to people, they travel high at the fast of light, and I don't know. Most human cases have been in Central and West Africa, but when the disease is endemic, monkeypox is rarely identified outside of Africa, but as of Friday, there were 80 confirmed cases worldwide, including 2 in the United States and another 50 suspected ones. Most patients only experience fever, body aches, chills, and fatigue. People with more serious illness may develop a rash or lesions or face and hands. They can spread over the other parts of the body. In some cases, diarrhea and upset stomach, like eating from Taco Bell. The Florida Department of Health then has said the news release, the risk of exposure is low since it requires contact with lesions or items that have been contaminated by lesions. On Sunday, during the first public comments on the disease, President Joe Biden says, "It is a concern. If..." And that's it. Nobody heard anything else.
Just don't poke his pox and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
That's right.
Don't put
No
the
rubbing lesions.
Don't put the pox.
I just find it really coincidental. Not saying it is, I'm just saying I find it coincidental that this happens at the same time that they're about to vote on whether to make who in control of all, these different countries, including us, take our sovereignty away to choose.
Yeah, they're giving all the power to the WHO.
Yep.
The who?
The who?
What she's talking about is they're talking about giving all the power to the WHO to police any country that they deem that is having a pandemic. They're going to be the ones who make the decisions as far as lockdowns and everything else. We're fixing to give a foreign entity power over American citizens, which is really weird.
It's amazing.
Very scary.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I think that is a justified cause to go ahead and. I'm sorry. I was speaking out of turn. My apologies.
We'll
Karen,
find out.
Yeah, we will. Karen, good to have you back. Make sure you take home your Bill Nye for the Science Guy book.
It's O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly, whatever. Same thing.
He's not a
It
scientist.
is not even close.
No.
To the same thing.
Bill Nye, I will say, is a little bit more entertaining for more people than Bill O'Reilly.
A lot, yes.
I like Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, I used to love when we were in school and they'd wheel in that
Yes.
part with the TV, and you knew you were going to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy is like call Bill Nye a science guy is like calling Jeffrey Dahmer a chef, right?
Kind of like calling Dr. Phil a doctor.
At least he makes it entertaining and kids actually want to learn what he's talking about. So
yeah.
I'll use it.
I like my Bill Nye, and I got it really into Mythbusters for a while too.
Yeah, we've used Mythbusters. There's a guy that does science, or not science, social studies, and on YouTube. It's a set of brothers, and they're hilarious, and the kids love it.
What you talking about, brother? Okay, it is 6 minutes till. I think we need to hit the good news. Let me go ahead and load it up there. So Alyssa is finally, after weeks of not having Alyssa's good news, it's always been the good news with me. Now it's back to Alyssa.
We had some
issues.
Yes.
It's okay.
But the issues are sleeping tonight.
Woohoo!
That's maybe too much information. I'm just saying.
It's not.
Everybody knows the reason why I haven't been in here.
That is true.
And it's relatable for other parents, so you're good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to get the news out of the way and get out of here on a Monday.
A homesick Londoner asks real Italian moms and grandmas to be rotating cooks at his restaurant, My Mama.
My Mama?
That's the name of the restaurant.
Wow.
A homesick London restaurateur decided to ditch the employment of culinary school graduates and start hiring that almost mythical I don't even know what the word is. Of culinary folklore, the Italian grandmother. For Pepe
Le Pew?
Corsaro, this return to his roots was met with huge
Huge boobs.
Huge success
Okay.
in the London restaurant scene, and has brought dozens of mamas from all regions of Italy.
Oh, mama.
La Mia Mama is a 3-month chef in residency program for Italian moms and grandmas who want to travel to London to showcase their region or province's culinary treats. It started when Corsaro, missing his native Sicily and the marathon Sunday lunches he used to enjoy, thought he'd simply fly in his mother to cook for him in his restaurant. Sportingly, his own mama, Anna Fama.
Anna Fama?
Yeah.
Mama Fama and Anna Fama.
Yeah.
All right,
there we
cool.
go.
I got this.
Agreed immediately, and the project began as a pop-up in 2018. Since the Corsaros expanded the pilot to 2 full-time restaurants and a deli, after 3 months, the 3 mamas in residence had their chef's hats over a new brigade of mamas from a different region. Along with exceptional taste and attention to detail, La Mia Mama's secret to success is the fact that preparations and dishes can vary wildly between regions and even within regions, such that diners have a near endless opportunity to broaden their understanding of Italian cuisine. For example, the Germanic influence of northern. Oh God, I can't talk today.
It's okay. Dramatic.
Lombardy doesn't often carry down the food capital of Milan, much less of the province. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so he
So
brings
basically,
in these mamas to make his.
So he went ahead and boned all these mamas to make some sauce. All right, cool.
That's what you got out of that story?
That's what I got out of it.
Did you not hear in the beginning? His whole version of that story was completely different.
It's the mama mamas.
Oh.
Oh, what happened?
No, I got you.
There we go.
See, you kept on go ahead and cutting in and out, so every time you cut back in, it'll go as do a default. So that's one thing I hate about this thing. I can't keep my own thing on it. And when I say own thing, I mean my big thing. Go ahead, Philip. Go ahead. What's going on? Hey, I know we're doing Mental Awareness Month, so real quickly, what you did today and what you got coming up.
All right, so today I interviewed former Marine Sergeant Brian Talley, who was really given a deathbed misdiagnosis by the Department of Veterans Affairs. This guy actually, just a nobody, researched and created how to write his own bill, and he had bills introduced and was signed into law through your process. It's a great story. If you want to learn about what the trials and tribulations veterans go through, that's the one. But the rest of my shows, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tune in. Have a good time.
All right, great. And that is going to do it for the rest of us here. Make sure you go ahead and visit rawtalkonlineradio.com for all the great shows that we got, including Philip's show that airs 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. 5 Central. But we got it all going on there right there at rawtalkonlineradio.com. Karen, any last words before you head off into the sunset, which is said already?
I will do my best to be back Friday, but I'll tune in on Wednesday.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll be in church.
You what?
I said, no, I won't. I'll be in church.
Wow. On Wednesday is the big show. Artie Hoffman, the psychic to the stars, card reader.
Oh.
And we'll go ahead and have him 7:15 to go ahead and give everybody a reading. So call in or type in on Facebook, share it. Artie's coming in on Wednesday. We'll be here for that. All right. You guys all take care. We're out of here. Bye-bye.